There we go.
Well, all right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Nurse Charms Live. I have my guest Emery Northington with me tonight. It's been a minute since I've done these broadcasts, but I'm excited about what we're going to talk about tonight. So if you're just joining us, tune in, share this video, give us some love if you agree with some of the things that we're talking about tonight, and feel free to chime in. Let me make sure this comment feed is on. Yep. So feel free to chime in and ask any questions that you want to ask. So let's just get right into this. Emery, go ahead and tell everyone who you are. What do you do?
All right. Well, I'm Emery Northington. I'm actually a political consultant, actually working on a campaign right now. I can't really disclose that right now, but I guess it's a very heavy duty campaign right now. So I'm single. I have a beautiful daughter, and I wanted to talk about Kevin Samuels. I want to talk about not only the man, but the legacy that he left, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Something I just really it was bothering me was obviously the untimely death of the gentleman, but what I found really disheartening is how much hate, and I'm going to say hate, that this man received. And I always just wanted to know why. Like, why did he become so polarizing, and I guess in certain circles in such a negative way? So I wanted to go ahead and and come on here and talk to you about it and see what we can come together and figure out.
Okay, sounds good. First off, I just want to give a full disclosure. First off, I just want to say rest in peace to Kevin Samuels' family. And I also want to give a disclaimer that I've never met Kevin Samuels, never had any conversation with him. So, the fact that he has passed on, I really don't want this discussion to be about, kind of bashing him because he's no longer here to defend himself. So I'm not that type of person who's just going to kind of go on and on about someone who's passed on. I want this to be respectful. But everyone feel free to share their opinions because, this man, he had over 1 million followers on his Instagram and on his YouTube. So, it's important to talk about this because, he really did leave an impact on the on Black culture, and I say Black culture because most of his messaging was for, well, he would say like the modern day women, but most of it was for Black women. So we'll kind of get into some of the things that he said, and then we'll just kind of talk about like the impact of some of his messaging, and whether you agree with it or disagree with it, the good, the bad, the ugly, or whatever. We just want to hear your thoughts, and we just kind of want to remember him from that angle. So why don't you tell everyone a little bit who Kevin Samuels was, because some people might be listening like, who is that? Never heard of him. So go ahead and tell people, did you listen to him regularly, or you just kind of finding out about this now after he died? Or
No, actually, I followed him right around when he had like 200, just shy of 220,000 subscribers. And
okay.
then, of course, the infamous. Well, first things first. Let me start.
Wait, I'm sorry. Just to interrupt you real quick. Let me know. Make sure that you all can hear me. Just say loud and clear. Somebody let me know on the feed that if you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, sorry about that. Go ahead, Emery.
No problem. So basically, he was an image consultant. And not only that, what he did, he started out primarily talking to men about grooming and things of that nature. Really, and what's crazy was rather harsh, almost ruthless, because of his passion for grooming, style, elegance, and uplifting men, and not just Black men, all men. But what ended up happening was, I guess somehow along the way, kind of crossed over to start aiding, giving advice to women. And what ended up happening was it was a mushroom effect, where this gentleman with basically one video blew him up to well over 1 million subscribers. And it was about, of course, the infamous average at best video. And the thing is that he talked about how in this particular video, I guess I'll explain the video as best I can. Young lady was making over $100,000 a year, and felt that she could not respect a man who did not make who made less than that. So what he asked her was, okay, well, in order for you to get that type of man that which he deemed a high value man, excuse me, what happened is he says, okay, well, these are the men that not only he knows, but they're his clients as well. So what he says, well, I know what these men want, so you describe yourself to me. And once you do that, I can let you know whether you, based upon my expertise and the men that I actually counsel, are you are able to do it. And unfortunately for her, based upon what he said, she wasn't. And from that point on, I think he got the ire from a lot of women. And I guess he came off, smug and arrogant and things of that nature. But for the most part, we started to talk about a lot about Black women and how not only Black women, but women in particular, about what men want. And I think he's kind of started that conversation. And here we are talking about it right now, even beyond his timely death.
What's interesting? I don't know the specific number, but at least I heard at least over 70% of his subscribers are women, were women, well, still are women. So how do you think that's possible for him to have such a large following of women when his message, was a little bit, degrading? Some people felt like it was degrading to women. How is it that he has such a big following of women and his message, seemed to be offensive to a lot of women? Is it that people just like toxicity? What's going on with that?
You know what? What I would say is that what he did was, once again, like I said before, and you'll hear me repeat it, he started the conversation because what we don't do in society, we don't gauge women as much. And with the advent of social media and things of that nature, what happens is not only women, but men as well, we happen to create a uh, more of a how can I put this a inflated version of ourselves or value for that matter. And sometimes when we happen to look at that, say, yeah, I can have that because I feel I'm that person. I feel that I'm a 10 in his ranking scale. I feel I can have the man that I want or the woman that I want. And what he basically did is say, okay, based upon the criteria that most people happen to judge this, you're not there. And women, I guess in this case, women in particular, they were like, "How dare you tell me what I cannot have?" So they wanted. I think he created a certain level of intrigue to find out. All right, who is Kevin Samuels? Almost like how the Matrix movie came out. It's like, what is the Matrix? I think it was the same thing. It was like, who is Kevin Samuels? So they wanted to really, really find out who had the guts to really talk about this topic. It's very, very sensitive.
Yeah, for sure. And one of his last YouTubes that he posts was the modern women are a
Mhm.
party of one. And basically in that YouTube, he basically said that some of these women who are going after these men, he had his whole thing was like the high value and the low
Mhm.
value. And some of these women who are going after these high value men, basically that's all they want. They're saying that they're going to hold out. They're holding back until they get that perfect man that they want, based on their standards and all that stuff. And so his messaging was, um, get what you can get. Try stop, get what's on, your get what's on your level. You're
Mhm.
trying to go for this level up here, and you don't qualify to be dating these type of men. So what is how do you feel that impacts the black culture? Because that can be kind of taken, um in terms of like, you're not good enough. Like you see people all the time. You may see somebody um very, very, very successful, and you may see somebody, just kind of, average, or even um low average, in terms of income, below average in terms of income, and they're still together and they're in love and they're happy. So this messaging in terms of, get with somebody who's on your level, like, what do you say about that?
Okay, so I would tell you that in slavery times, we did not have a high value man. We didn't have these things. We didn't, and I'll go back to that, saying during that time, it was togetherness. We were stronger as a unit. Even during the and now we're talking about basically about the black culture. We ended up going through civil rights, the civil rights movement, things of that nature. It was stronger to deal with each other as a couple, as a family structure.
Right, we weren't
What,
concerned with all that, what you got, what you don't got. Is that what you're trying to say?
yes, because we had each other, and that was
Right.
enough. So what happened was, you have now women able to be, now everyone's, I guess, liberated to a certain degree, and to be able to now earn as much as a man. Now women say, hey, you know what? I want the same privileges a man has. And once you happen to have that, then you say, well, damn, you know what? I wish I could have that. I know I can have that because now with the advent of social media, it tells me I can have that no matter how much money I make. So now I can do that. But sooner or later, social constructs has been put in place for the beginning of time to really let you know where you stand. And what Kevin was basically saying, there's a finite amount of men that fits this description, but it's millions of women who don't fit this description. So, and it's also a finite amount of women who fit this description. But once we happen to say you want to go after the high value man, well, it's a particular type of it's a responsibility that you have to that man. And it does not require you to make a ton of money or have super high education or anything like that. It's that basically this man is going out here supplying everything you need. But in order to do that, he has certain things that you need to do. And I think a lot of women don't understand that concept. And that's the reason why they believe that they are due, or better yet, able to have a high value man.
Let's see. Let's go into our comments right here. Khalil says, I watched Kevin Samuels for years. His channel was for men. Women chose to call in. His teachings are basically from the Rallo Tomasi. I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, Rollo Tomasi, yeah.
Oh, okay. And positive masculinity, hypergamy, solipsism. I don't know these words, and feminine agenda, and a sexual marketplace. There's a book called The War on Men. Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't. I don't have that. I know. Put this with the book. No, I don't. I know about these guys. I mean, there's a community called the Red Pill / Manosphere. You have the likes of O'Shea Duke Jackson, Alpha Male Strategies, mediocre tutorials and reviews, it's among other things. Lead Attorney. It's a lot of guys. What they do in a nutshell, they talk about making men better, not putting down women, but saying in order for you, remember, there are high value women, and it's not about money. It's about the femininity, and this thing Kevin talked about, the CIA saying you're confident, assertive, intelligent, assertive. That's what a man's supposed to be. And for a woman, it's the FBI, feminine, beautiful, and inspirational. Well, every man, including myself, would love to have an FBI woman. But the thing is that we also know that we may not have the qualifications to get there. Kevin, along with others, was saying basically, you can get there, but you got to work at it, because there's no woman going to be with you if you're a bum. So you have to work to get to that point. And that's what Kevin was talking about, especially along with the Red Pill / Manosphere community.
Oh, okay. So like where should we go from here? Because I mean, do you think that messaging should be continued, or should we kind of shift gears into, make it a little bit more positive, or what are your thoughts?
Okay, so I asked a question, and you say, well, you say positive. So
because some of the stuff seemed like it was like to lower your self-esteem, like you're not good enough. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like
So
some of the lives I would see, he would tell someone, they may have thought, like a woman, she may have thought that she was an 8, and he would be like, you're a 5, you're damaged goods. You if you got kids and you unmarried, like, you putting strikes on you because of your past. So
okay, so all right, it's a funny you mention that, because here, and this is the one thing I would say is that, of course, I know women, lots of women who have children and not married. Some are married, obviously, but let's stick on the women who have children. It's not a damaging effect on them, whereas it relates to an average man. An average man say, I'll take you and your kids, because at one time there was a time where that was an honorable thing to say, hey, you know what?
right.
The guy left, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm going to be man enough to take care of you and your kids, and we'll have our own family. Well, the thing is that that's the average guy. The women what the women want are the guys are saying, wait a minute, if I'm over here making this type of money, I have this type of status, corporate, whatever the case would be, a high level, and their image is everything. The last thing they can do is sit around here and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to raise someone else's child, because they have a legacy. They created a name. They worked their butts off to create a name for themselves. So once they create their name, they want their own offspring, because another man's kid will not bring them any form of pleasure or benefit to them. Now, the average man don't care about that. He's saying, I don't care how many kids you got. I will love you and your children. But here's the problem. Women nowadays don't want the average man. They want the high value man, but they want him to accept the same things that an average man would have. There lies the problem. So when you happen to have that and you twist that around, now men who say, oh, you know what, a high value man, and say, hey, I don't want another man's kids. Just like a perfect example in the animal kingdom. You look at the lion or the pride of lions. What happens is that the male lion happens to get defeated and a new lion takes the pride. First order of business, kill the kids. Because the first thing they do, they say, I don't want them to get raised up and try to come after me. Not only that, I'm not going to have these women, I mean, the lionesses who actually go out there and get the food, I'm not going to have them feed, I'm not going to have their little ones take food off my table. I'm not doing it. So that's the reason why. And I think that message got twisted. And that's the reason why a lot of women, when you hear from the outset, women will say, how dare Kevin Samuels or any high value man say, you don't want to take care of my kids or I'm damaged goods. Well, to the average man, you're not. But to that man, his image is everything. So that's the reason why, in conclusion, that's the reason why you happen to have women who believe one thing, but understand that they are basically removing themselves from the area where men will accept that as opposed to men who will not.
She says, who said the women only want those guys? I think she's talking about what you were just saying, the high value man. Let's see what she says. I think part of the problem is that men don't understand that women are one man. She highlights man. The concept of femininity that men hold in their minds and promote is actually not all that femininity is. The feminine includes the masculine.
May I respond?
Yes.
What the hell was that? It's like, and I'm being honest. I mean, what the hell was that? Because when we look at it, saying, she says the one man. Yes, you listen. I'm not going to go in biblical times and things speak of that. She's entitled to her opinion, but what we have to understand is this: she just said what she felt. And here lies the problem. We're sitting back talking about what women deem men should accept. Men are saying this is what I want. Don't tell me, you cannot classify what I deem feminine. I know what feminine is because I'm attracted to it. If you don't show me those qualities, then I don't want that. So that's the reason why I say that you can't say, oh, feminine is masculine. It's not. It's not. And I'll get into that later as well. It's not.
Get it. Go ahead. Just keep going.
Oh, you want me to go? Oh,
yes, okay, yeah.
Here's a concept that women have also is when you hear the whole shebang. Hey, you know what? I make this amount of money. I'm a boss bee and everything else. All these type of things. Oh, I got this amount of money. I got this amount of education. That's what happens. If a woman, whoever, for the women who are listening to this, for every woman who gets a man, she is going to look at that man and say, you have to take care of me. So whatever money you make doesn't matter. It all comes down to what money because
Emery, I can't hear you.
I make this amount of I make all this money, and the thing is, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. So that's the reason why I say at the end of the day, we have to get to a point of reality. This has nothing to do with, oh yeah, I'll make this amount of money. So what? That man is supposed to take care of you because remember, a woman, she's looked on saying, hey, you know what? Some women anyway. Well, hold on. What'd she say? Hold on.
She says, I'm not speaking biblical things. I'm talking about men think feminine. I'm talking about what men think femininity is. It does not include what people say masculinity is. Men don't get to dictate what women are about. That's true.
That's untrue. Let me explain. Because we're talking about from a man's point of view. We're not trying to describe you. We're telling you, and here lies the problem. We call it, once again, here we are, lost in translation. The whole point was men are basically saying, I'm not listening to what you're telling me I want. This is just like in the car market. All right. A used car can't tell a person with good credit buy me. That person with good credit is going to say, let me choose. So you can't tell me what I want because I know exactly what I want. And here is the young lady is trying to describe. She's trying to describe, and she says, "You are. I'm not." What I'm trying to do in a nutshell, it's not what I am doing. It's saying men want this. Men want this. It's not about sitting back saying, "Oh yeah, we want." Women say that's not masculine. That's not femininity. How can you tell me what femininity is? You know what I'm saying? Like you got your hair together, you're looking good, your lips, you already got your lips on. Guess what? And you speak, and the way you speak with femininity. If you sound like a guy, that you sound like you doing masculinity. Imagine a woman talking to a man and sound like a man. How feminine is that? So
So
one thing.
so she says you're saying they want a feminine woman, but you don't understand femininity though.
Once again, who is she to tell me what femininity is
A
compared to a
woman,
man?
a
No,
woman.
let me explain to you. I'm saying that femininity is different from woman to man. This is the problem because it really is only one way. Once again, feminine, beautiful, inspirational. The thing is that we're talking about saying, oh, a woman in her femininity. What about us? We're just basically saying, I want a woman in a nutshell, soft spoken, take care of business, look after me, and I look after her. And she's a lady first and foremost. No foul language, no bad behavior, dress elegantly. And those are feminine traits. Here's one for you. How many women actually that you can see outside right now do they have feminine traits? But guess what? That same lady possibly could say, hey, you know what? She is feminine. That's what Brandon's about.
Brandon says if a person says what they want, who can tell them otherwise? It sounds like he's siding with you because he says he also says a woman can't tell a man what he sees in a woman. Okay, yeah,
Facts.
I will agree with you on that, Brandon.
But that's what we're saying. It's like women are just we've been constantly told, hey, you know what? You're supposed to. I'm telling you what you like. I'm telling you the food you're going to eat. I'm going to tell you the clothes you think about it. You have men that get dressed by women still. All right. And that's saying it's a bad thing. I'm also saying that. So what she said is so foul language and bad behavior is masculinity. It's bad behavior and foul language. That's what it is.
Masculinity, yeah. She's using attributes to describe a woman, like stereotypical. I mean, to
Okay,
describe a man.
I got you. Here's one for you. I'm not sure what her name is, but I would say, young lady, tell me the female archetype right now that women look at for femininity. I want her response. What's the woman that living right now that she look at and says that woman exudes a certain level of femininity? She's the flag bearer for it.
See, me and her on the same page. That's my girl right here. She's like, exactly. Stereotypes are what we're really talking about. And that is what it's about. Like, how can you really, like she says, like, how can you really say what femininity is or what masculinity is? It's all stereotypes, right?
All right, when it comes, all right, first things first, feminine, right? What do we associate that with? Women, right?
Yeah.
Masculinity, what we associate that with?
Men.
Not, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? We're over here talking about semantics here at this point. She know damn well what a feminine woman is. Just like I know a masculine man, I'm one. So my thing is, oh no, miss me with that. Like, oh, we're talking about what's femininity. Now we question what it's like, what are we questioning? And here lies the problem. That's why Kevin came up and said, hey, we need to talk about this. Because women don't understand what femininity is. She's questioning the very thing she's supposed to be.
See, okay, so this my girl right here, Kasha. She's saying men are not the authority on true feminine nature. They are not getting authentic feminine women.
Okay,
that's true.
Okay, here's one for you. Okay, for those who had your parents. Okay, I'm gonna use this one here. Remember, I got a daughter, so I understand. So what happens is I remember when uh my ex-wife used to go and get my daughter together and get her fix her hair up, get her together, whether it's for school or church or whatever the case may be. Get her all shined up, looking all cute. But before she left that door, she said, "Go see your daddy. Let your daddy see how you look." So while you're saying, "Oh, we don't know femininity," we started. We were the ones that you need to wear in order to get us. Just like men buy fancy clothes and big houses so we can get you. So the thing is that when we talk about, oh yeah, that's not feminine. Guess what? We men know what femininity is the opposite of a man. So what are we talking about?
She says men's version of feminine was determined by them. I have to agree with my ladies. Like y'all can't determine what is feminine and what isn't.
Why not?
Because we determine that as women.
Whoa, you say you determine what's feminine, right?
Because women exude those characteristics. So
but femininity is based upon the appeal of a man, right?
Yeah.
So if that's the case,
but y'all don't create it though. Y'all don't create it.
No. We punctuate it. So while you're over here trying, guess what? If a man look at you and you look at your dress, say, "Hey, beautiful," that's femininity. You look beautiful. You look attractive. That's femininity. So when it comes down to it, you say what we don't do. I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh, men rule the world." If that's the case, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that what'd she say?
She says little girls are typically what men would say is not feminine until they have been properly conditioned.
Okay, once again, I am telling you as a father of a daughter, I'm saying I know this is not femininity from a kid. We're not doing that. We're not talking about femininity as a woman. We're talking about femininity so she can be raised up knowing that this is what you're supposed to be. It has to be baseline. So hey, we basically say she is judged by men, not by you. Just like
right, is judged. That's the thing. It's judged, but it's not created. We create it. So Brandon, I have to disagree with you. Brandon says absolutely we create what it is. You guys create masculinity, and us women create femininity. And each judge it. That's why it's a stereotype, because it's based on somebody's judgment.
I would say that we've literally been wasting about, I would not say wasted, but we've been talking for over 10 minutes about.
Okay, so let's reel this back into Kevin Samuels and his whole messaging. You know, with this high value, low value, a low value woman can't get a high value man. Okay, let's take it back to that.
Okay, how about this? First of all, there is no low value person. He never said that. What he did say, it was the high value man. Actually, he did not create. However, man is that he has a network of people. So when it comes down, she just loves it. I love her comment stuff. But what I would say is that what it's not about a low value man. Is not, because in society the middle ground is what takes care of the country. It's not as you would say the low value people, where there's just no low value people, but you have some that's at a particular level, then you have mid, and then you have high. Well, the thing is, the high, they skim off the top, but at the end of the day, it's the middle people, the average people, which is more than high value, that makes the world go round. Now, when you happen to talk about women, you say, hey, you know what? And just like this lady, she says,
drinking water before bed burns 46.
Sorry, keep talking. No, go ahead.
Just like she says that any man who follows Kevin Samuels is lost. And the thing is that, once again, sign language, shames, insults, and guilt need to be right. She doesn't know me. So how could she say I'm lost? You wouldn't have me on this show if I was lost. It's about us having a point of view. So why is Kevin in authority when he died alone? Well, last time I checked, he did die with somebody. And one thing I would say is that they judged him, talked about, and yes, these comments are now changing the narrative. That's okay. The thing is that they changed the narrative, but the thing is that what they were always talked about his sexuality. Well, that's been proven to be wrong. Then they said, hey, you know what? Oh, he not listen to the message. Oh, he died. He had $1,000 in his account. Oh, his place wasn't in his name. He had an LLC. The man was worth over $5 million. So once again, he wasn't broke. He wasn't an alternative lifestyle member. He was 6'4". He was 210. He had contacts. He made the money. He was a high value man. So he basically, by his own admission, was a high value man. Just like this lady saying a one night stand. Guess what? Here's a lot of people that happen to have one night stands. But the thing is that we talk about saying, hey, having a one night stand. So what? The whole point is that this is not about him. This is about the message that he had. The message is Black men and Black women need to learn how to come together and not keep separating ourselves by financial situations. That's primarily what it is.
I actually want to play this last message that he had, and then I want us to chime in on this real quick. Let me play this.
Pounds in 2 weeks.
This is the one.
If you are struggling to lose weight,
sorry, let me skip this ad here. I'm gonna put it on the screen in a second.
Okay.
Let's see.
Boy, bye. That's cute. That's cute. Boy, bye.
Okay, let me press play.
Oh, that's cute.
Sorry,
no problem.
You name it, Shirley got it. I know.
Let me share the screen.
That's how you do it. I know. I'm sorry. But this is what we're going to have to do, folks. Okay. This is what we're going to have to do. One, I want you guys to make sure you get the likes up, hit the like button, because we want to get into this.
See.
The last couple of days, man, last couple of weeks, things have been a little holding out. Holding out for what?
Sorry.
Holding out for what?
Let's see. Wait.
Holding out for something better.
Let's listen to it. That's fine.
Party of one. Holding out for this and holding out for that. Who the heck are you ladies holding out for? When you ask women today, who are every bit of, danger zone. Danger zone! 27 to 35, when a woman needs to focus like a laser on the outcome she wants as far as relationships. But when you ask women,
let me try this one more time. Sorry.
Okay, we can do audio. That's fine.
Even in the early 40s, who are boss chicks, bad chicks, got my money together, I got my master's.
I'm a PhD.
Got my master's, but can you cook?
I don't need a cookbook.
Yeah, they got their PhD and everything else. They don't have a cookbook, but they damn sure do. All right, what is the one thing you tend to hear? Some sort of, well, I'm doing what I'm doing right now, and I'm in a waiting position. I'm waiting for, God to send that man to me. I'm holding out. So I'm going to go num num uranga toyo macarena till that man comes along. Why are so many modern women holding out? What are you holding out for? Whatever it is, ladies, it ain't working. And the net result of it is you become a party of one. Modern woman, party of one. Your table's ready. What do you mean a party of one? A party of one. They become a party of one. Because as your friends who actually decided, you know what, I'm going to be a teacher or an accountant or whatever, I'm not going to make enough money to pay for my life, my property, my retirement and everything else. I'm not going to be able to fund my retirement. So I'm going to partner with somebody else and we're just going to try to make this thing work. Now you got so many women who just because they went to college figure out that raises their value, especially this group.
I'm a PhD.
I had my ladies focus group the other day and the themes continue to kind of play out, interesting conversation, interesting questions.
Okay, so I think it's kind of lengthy. So I think
No,
we're
it's
gonna
okay.
get the gist of it. I just really
I
want
heard it already.
right.
Okay.
So that was his last message before his death. So
Mhm.
he has this whole thing. Modern day women are a party of one, because you're trying to hold out for this high value man, and it doesn't matter all these things that you have, you're not gonna get them. You're still gonna stay single. So let's
Okay.
talk about that. Let's get into
Okay. So here's the thing: the high value man. Once again, let's put it this way. Let's use math. Okay. So if you happen to have 100 guys, right? All right,
yeah.
100 of them. All right, and then on top of that, you have 100 women. We're gonna keep that over there. All right.
Okay.
And the women who were educated, make the money, the bad bees or whatever they call themselves, the boss bees, if you will. They call themselves, not me. But the thing is that you have 10 people over here, 10 women over here, and then you have 10 guys of this 100 over here. The one thing about it is that what happens is, yeah, she's going in. So, but the thing is that 100 over there, the 10 of the 100, they can have literally all the men, all the women over here, including the 10%. I mean, the 10 that was already over there. The women, on the other hand, they want just the 10 men out of the 100. So now you just gotta look at the numbers. Okay, if 10 women, right? I'm sorry, if all those women want only 10 men, but the 100, including the 10 men, can have all those women, there's a problem. We're just adding this up. It's so simple. You can't, if it's a finite amount of men, only a handful.
We can't hear you. Okay, I'm just gonna talk because Emery is I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Emery. Your phone, I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna keep moving and hopefully Emery can figure out his connection. So Khalil says basically he's saying most females in Western society most likely aren't virgins. They got with men during the teen years, gave away their sexual value, and expects a man who built himself up from the mud to wait. It's called hitting the wall. I don't know if I would agree with that. You know, I feel like everybody has their preference. Everybody has their dating preference. Everybody has their standards, what they want to accept and what they don't want to accept. So I really never bought into this whole high value concept because like Emery was talking about earlier, like we all just need to go back to just loving each other for who we are, love and appreciate each other for who we are, not so much. Okay, looks like Emery's back here. Sorry. Okay. Yep. Let me just finish my thoughts.
No, I will listen to you. Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, I haven't really bought into this whole high value messaging and you know, based on your attributes, based on what you look like or based on your titles or your money that you can or can't get somebody. I never really bought into that. So I mean, I see where he's coming from with that, but I just don't think that's a positive message to put out for people dating. You know what I'm saying? Choose who you love, be with whoever you want to be. Don't limit yourself or don't feel insecure with yourself because you may not have these stereotypical standards that society has set. You know, for you to be able to get this high value person. So that's my response to Khalil.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna jump in real quick because
okay,
and I'm gonna tighten up my boxing gloves a tad bit. The one thing about it is this, and Khalil made a valid point. I was trying to stay away from it. I'm just gonna go ahead and go in.
Go in.
Is that I am gonna go in. My thing is this: when you happen to have women who say, "Hey, you know, I want this type of stuff, and I want this man. I want this man. He got to do A, B, and C." Put it this way. Here's a perfect example. There was a guy who's worth over $100 million. He was 6'5", 250, built like a linebacker.
I can't hear you again.
You hear
Yeah,
me?
okay, you there. Yep, you there.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, everybody mother calling. So what ended up happening was he told women what he liked and he got bashed. You know who that was? Cam
Who?
Newton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I remember that. Yeah.
yeah. So once again, here's the problem. Oh, you know, just like some of the women here, it's like, how in the world are you gonna sit and say, oh, you know what? I want this man. Okay, well, then we talk about what men have to do to get you. Now, keep in mind, I'm gonna break this down. Men have to build themselves up no matter what they do. They got to make money, got to go to school or get a trade or whatever the case may be. They got to make their money, get a house, got a car, bad, good credit, then to keep themselves in shape. Yeah, go ahead.
Go
Keep
ahead.
themselves in shape and everything else, only to get something that was given to you for free. That's your cootie cat. So the thing is that you put no value on what men actually happen to go through to get to this point. All you just say is gimme, gimme, gimme. And there's a small amount of women who do that because I do not believe all women are like that. It's a small group of women who just constantly say, hey, you know what?
I'm
I
sorry.
want, go ahead. I got you. I'm talking to them. And it's a small group of women who say, hey, you know what? I want this type of guy. But guess what? You're not coming to me a virgin. You're not coming to me not without children. You've done everything. You've given yourself to other men who are less than, and then you come back and say, "No, I gave that to them." And when I ask you if you had kids, then you say, "Well, I asked you why you married him. I mean, why you didn't marry him? Oh, he wasn't good enough. Oh, I was young. Oh, he's a deadbeat. Oh, he doesn't work." Well, guess what? You laid down with him. You made these kids. So at the end of the day, that was another thing that Kevin talked about: marry before you carry. So when we talk about all these things, talk about how women say, "Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about," or femininity or things of that nature. Once again, men know exactly what we want. We've given you everything you asked for. You want a college educated guy. We gave you that. You thought he was lame. Then you went. You said you wanted a thug. Remember Beyonce talking about I want a soldier. We gave you a soldier. You said he was a bum. Now you want a high value man, and then you say, hey, you know what? When you find out what it takes to be a high value man, where he's gone all the time, oh, he don't give me enough time. So really, and especially the women on here, what the hell do you really want? Because I guarantee you can't tell me what you want. And that's the one thing about it. Yeah.
Let's see. These comments are blown up. She says she says the benefit of a woman having her own is she gets to seek a mate for love rather than necessity. Yes, that's so true, and that's what I'm on. Men are not attracted to females because of wealth.
Yes, because we gotta take care of you. Who cares about your money?
But there are some men out here trying to live off women, though.
And guess what? And they choose them. And they choose them. Think about the guys. It was 3 guys in Georgia that were responsible for 97 kids. 97. But guess what? They'll sit around here and say, oh, perfect example. I was talking to a young lady this morning about this very topic. And I said, she says, you know what? Well, men need to start taking care of their kids. Okay, well, who laid down and had these kids with them and wasn't married? That's removing that. Oh, well, you know what? These men, they said, just like the lady was saying earlier, anybody who happens to follow Kevin Samuels is lost. Well, guess what? This lady was saying, you know what? They're clueless. They don't know what's going on. But guess what? Who raised them? Because 80% of the women, the black women in this case, were single mothers. So you raised these very men you say you don't want. So explain to me how we gonna get along. And that's what Kevin was saying. We got to be responsible when black men were going to jail, we weren't going to school. Guess what? You guys told us what we needed. You said, no, my man need to be educated. My man need to be in my life. Well, the whole thing is we did all these things. I'm a living proof of it. But when it come down to it, then we tell you, hey, we don't want you on a pole. We don't need you dressing scantily clad. We don't need you dressed in like prostitutes. All right? We don't need that because that's not feminine. That's slutty. We don't want that. Nor should we marry it. Guess what happens? Then you tell me, hey, you know what? Who are you to tell me? Just saying, I'm going in. So the thing is that on top of that, then you happen to say, this is the biggest thing people say about Kevin. They said, just like the lady said, she wants to secure the bag. Secure the bag in spite of what? Having a black family, which is what Kevin was talking about. Having a black family. That's what it was. So all the things we can sit back here and say, just like Jay just said. Men start to look at each other and say, we can do better. Kevin was saying we can do better. And we expect our women to do better because now we heard what you wanted. We came to you and said, guess what? We're here now. So we don't need you to dress this way. I don't need you to act this way. I need you to be a woman. I need you to be a feminine, a beautiful, feminine, inspirational woman to me and the family. That's what I'm talking about.
Jay says Kevin was one of the best things to happen to ambitious Black men. It gives you the proper knowledge and awareness you need to navigate through the BS. Thanks, Kevin. So he's giving props to Kevin.
Absolutely, and Kevin deserves it. See, one thing about it, what women have forgot, all they think about is the message. They don't think about the message. They think about his tone. And I'm gonna get to my point. The one thing I would say is that when I hear women say, "Oh, you know what? He talked nasty. He was disrespectful." Well, when you're calling someone out of their name and things of that nature, they just not used to someone saying, "Oh, I'm one. You one too." They're like, "Oh, no, I'm not." Yes, you are one if you're gonna call me that. So the one thing about it is this. On top of that, you happen to have just to his point, women forget that, oh, we brought a certain level of dignity to them, but also we will allow other women to talk to you. When women try to explain what was necessary as far as having femininity, Ivana Van Zandt, I'm trying to pronounce her name properly. She came with peace and love. Sister, my daughter, my sister, my auntie, whatever. You can't do this, baby. You can't do it. No, they canceled her. Monique told you to take the bonnets off and do this. My queen, don't do this. Don't do this. As sweet as possible as can be. They canceled her. They banished her. But then on top of that, but then Kevin tell you, then all of a sudden now he's the bad guy. But here's the problem. It was another guy who literally created the stereotype for the modern woman. Tyler Perry. This man made billions of dollars off of you and dressed as a woman. Madea goes to church. Madea goes to jail. Stereotypes, just like the young lady said earlier. Stereotypes saying, oh, you know what? A Black woman going to jail, getting locked up. And you went there and did this. You promoted that. A Diary of an Angry Black Woman. You went there and promoted that. So he's out here with billions of dollars and things of that off the backs of your image, and yet you come talking about Kevin did something to you. The nerve.
So let's get to some of these comments. Khalil says, we are attracted to femininity. Securing the bag is a masculine trait. We want a woman, not a business partner.
Absolutely. He's absolutely correct. When women say, I want a partner, no, you're not a partner. We just like when women say they want to be happy in a relationship. The thing is, you have duty in a relationship, whether it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, or a marriage. You have duty. You do duty. The byproduct of it is happiness.
We have a duty. Hold on. Explain that. You said women have a duty?
No, I didn't say women. I said men and women.
Okay.
Men have what we talk about: provide, protect, and provide provision. You guys take care of us. Take care of the children. And then on top of that, be inspirational to us. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that it's constantly saying, "Oh, I want to be on the role of a man." That's not how it works. What did she say?
She says, "No, you don't have to take care of me if I already take care of myself. I'm not looking for a mate to take care of me."
Well, you don't want a man. You want a Pookie and Ray Ray. You can take care of him. He'll be more than happy to do that. Give you any baby you want to. He'll never marry you.
Brandon says all I did was tell women what better was.
Absolutely.
Miss Charms. Thank you. He says Miss Charms seems high value for sure.
She is high value. She is. She's an absolute catch, of course.
He says he spoke truth. Brandon says he spoke truth is hurting people's feelings. If you can't say amen, say ouch.
Well, you know what? And he's right. But I would tell you also, you know what? And I know we got a few minutes left, but I would tell you, she said, look at that. Madea ain't feminine. You're absolutely right. Madea ain't feminine. Yet you went to go see him. Her. But anyway, what I would say is that the vitriol that Kevin received after his death, you know, it just recently, Vivica A. Fox was literally she did everything but dance on his grave. And it's like, and she's literally the stereotypical archetype for certain modern women. She chose that she wanted career over family, never had a kid, got married to a guy who was a bum. And on top of that, what she ended up doing, she's by herself. So, and all she can do is talk about somebody else. And she's still over here looking for 50 Cent like she got a chance. Once again, when we talk about women and as far as age, and I'm gonna get to this for you because I know we don't have that much time.
Right.
What I would say is this: when he said about the 35 are leftovers, the thing is that was 35-year-old women who want the high value man, because a high value man wants a woman he can actually procreate with, as opposed to getting to a point where you have geriatric pregnancy. You know this firsthand. So the thing is that that's the one thing about it. So what's the other comment? Let's get in these comments. How about that?
Yeah, I'm feeling what you're saying, girlfriend. She says, you can't switch it and tell me to take care of a man. If I don't need a man to take care of me financially, that shouldn't be a problem. I want to be taken care of emotionally and spiritually, and I will do the same for him. Money doesn't make a good mate. I agree with that.
Really?
That's what I'm saying. Like we got to take that, like all this high value stuff, we got to take that out the picture, because like if it's just about money, you know, it might as well just be a transaction. If we're just dating people because of their bank account, you know what I'm saying? Like it should be deeper than that. You know, it should be a partnership in terms of like, okay, somebody who you can build a family with, you know, someone who you could leave a legacy behind, you know, somebody you can just have to go through life with, you know, like that's what relationships and, you know, marriages are about. It's not about like what you do have or what you don't have, or who you're good enough to get and who you're not good enough to get.
Well, the thing is that talking about who you're good enough to get was basically saying where you level out at. And to your point, you don't need a millionaire to have a family. That's the reason why he talked about there is a lot of good men in that average range that will be exactly what you're looking for. But these women don't want that. They want the glamour lifestyle, but they don't. And on top of that, they don't even want to even work for it. So I think at the end of the day, in closing, I would say this. The whole point of Kevin Samuels and the legacy he's going to leave, that he left, was that we are now having a legitimate conversation about the social ills of the Black family. This is the reason why he did that. This is the reason why I followed him. And at the end of the day, every man, just like I said, he tore down men, but at the end of the day, it wasn't about tearing them down. Put this way, he tore them down from their perch to bring them to a level to understand where they're at, and that's exactly what he did for women.
Yeah. Brandon, before we close, he says, wow, women doing background checks on dudes' income, but money don't matter. Absolutely. I mean, there are some women that care about money. And so, yeah, you can't control that. You know what I'm saying? That they want that financial security. So, I mean, what can you say?
But wait a minute, but why worry about that? Just like the young lady said, I'll make my own money. So why you worried about his money when you say you got your own? That's a contradiction. That's like I said, she don't know what she wants. She confused. Now she confused. Come on now.
Khalil says, good live, y'all. Thank you,
bro.
Yeah, he keeps saying these women don't want an average man, yet 2 women here are saying money doesn't make a good mate. Yeah, like I've said it, she said it. It's not about money. You know what I'm saying? It's more so about their character. That's what I'm concerned about. You know, is this somebody who, you know, I can trust, I can depend on, someone who is going to, you know, have my back, not just financially, but just anything I need, you know what I'm saying? Someone who's going to cherish me. You know what I'm saying? If you love me, show me that you cherish me, you know, show me that you really want me. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what, you need to show these emotions. So, I mean, it's so much more, you know, than just high value. But like you said, that was a good point. What you said, I agree with what you said. And I mean, I just think moving forward, we need to get more into, instead of like so much of this materialistic things, we need to get more into the character. Who is this person you're dating?
Absolutely.
Who is this person that you're potentially want to marry? You know what I'm saying? Get to know their character, because that's really going to be the foundation that you'll need in order to, you know, sustain,
build families.
Right.
Build families.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry. We trying to end this. More people chiming in here. Charlene, she says most men with money don't want broke, needy women. It goes both ways. That's true.
That is true.
Yeah, that's very true. Brandon, whatever. And then she agrees. So listen, this was so much fun. Thank you everyone for watching and leaving your comments. We're gonna have to do this again.
We do.
Time just went by so quick, but this was a good discussion. You know, it's tons of things that we can continue to say about this, but you know, we got to move forward from this. You know, Kevin Samuel's definitely gonna leave a legacy, you know, but just moving forward, we gotta get past all the materialistic things when it comes to dating. So that's just how I'm gonna end.
No problem.
Anything else you want to say? Huh?
Oh yeah, you know what? I would tell you that at the end of the day, we just got to do better.
Yeah,
black women, black men, we just got to do better, and that's what matters. Let's do that. And not for anyone else, but for us.
Let's do better. Yeah, for the Black culture, for sure. All right, y'all. Good night.
See you later.
All right.